All right, coming up, the worst pay-per-view in WWE history. I might have to think this might have been it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Horror show at Extreme Rules. Reactions from Brian H. Waters.
No, baby, that's for somebody else. We're just gonna keep you right where you at right now.
It doesn't matter what you think.
The Wrestling Realm presents Break It Down with Brian H.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Break It Down with Brian H. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters, coming to you just strictly on the audio side today. Don't worry, for those watching on YouTube, I will have some visuals for you to look at as opposed to me being in the studio because I'm away. I decided to, have a quick getaway. I'm still working, but just need to get away from the house before we in another shutdown. But nonetheless, before I get into that, make sure you subscribe to the Wrestling Realm on YouTube. Just go on, hit the subscribe button down below if you're watching right now. And if you're on Twitter and Instagram, make sure you give us a follow there. Facebook, make sure you join the Facebook fan page. I should say like the fan page and join the Facebook group where we have a lot of discussion. And of course, the show is available on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, you name it, we are there. Folks, I said at the top of the show, it may be known as the worst pay-per-view in WWE history. A lot of people didn't like it, but it didn't start that way. But I'm going to go ahead. You guys know I've been very vocal leading up to this. I've been very vocal as to who I want to see as the Raw Women's Champion, and that's Sasha Banks. Well, just like I called it, I said Bayley's match should go on first, and then let us wait and think that we get a Sasha two-time having both belts. Well, they did that, and I started off Bayley and Sasha Banks. They let it be known they had one goal tonight, and that was to make sure that they walked away with all the titles. And that, Sasha Banks was right there at ringside. Notice if you was watching, she was wearing the championship around the waist, even though the title was on the line. And usually the championship is at the timekeeper's table. But no, Sasha confident that Bayley would wear it. Sasha also let it be known she was a little jealous. And that's when everybody thought we was going to start to see the breakup. And I know a lot of people saying they want to see that now. I'm telling you guys, this does not need to happen right now. We need to wait for it because you want the fans there. When the fans are there, everything is going to erupt. It's going to go crazy. Just trust me on this one. But nonetheless, Sasha right there by Bayley's side. And I mixed up these pictures. But yeah, Sasha, we all know Bayley got the win. There was no way she was losing to Nikki Cross. And Sasha was right there to make sure that, everything stayed in place. And we move on. We go to the Women's Championship match. Let's get right to the finish. Asuka hits the referee with the miss. Now, these two, Sasha and Asuka, put on an incredible match, as did Bayley and Nikki Cross. We know we're going to get great wrestling from them. But like I said, the stories, folks, have been phenomenal. She hit the referee with the green mist. Sasha was able to duck it. The referee unable to see. However, Bayley would put on the referee's shirt and Sasha would hit her with the belt, and Bayley would count 1, 2, 3. So guess what? She told them ring the bell. They rung the bell. Nobody came out there. We're in the social distances. So how many people were backstage? Who's in charge of Monday Night Raw? Nobody came back. Nobody came from out. So as far as we're concerned, Sasha Banks is the champion. And Bayley, if you look right there, she got her hair cut. On her undercut, it says "Dos Straps," meaning 2 titles for both her and 2 titles for Sasha. And both of them will take the picture with Sasha wearing the Raw Women's Championship and the Women's Tag Team Championships, while Bayley is wearing the SmackDown Live Women's Championship and the Tag Team Championship. Guess what? I hated the finish. I got to be honest with you. There was no reason for this. And this is where I'm not as critical as a lot of people when it comes to writing. But, folks, let's be real. Bruce Pritchard is not the answer. Some may say he's spread too thin. Some may say, he has an old school approach. Build the top, let everything else fall in place. Right now, this was not it. You had an easy story. Now, let me put on my booking hat. No, I never book shows, but we do have a segment called Give Me the Book. This is what I would have done. I would have just had it finished right there and there. It wouldn't have been all back and forth. Sasha would have jumped in. Bayley would have jumped in, distracted the ref, allowed Sasha to hit Asuka with the belt. 1, 2, 3. You can protect Asuka. But then you also have this continued story because Sasha's been helping Bayley. Now, Bayley retained the title. Go back to WrestleMania. Now, Bayley has returned the favor, helped Sasha get the title. Now, Asuka has an issue. Now you do the rematch. You have Sasha beat Asuka clean. I know a lot of people saying, let's build Sasha versus Bayley. I do think it would have worked. Because I said this after WrestleMania. I said, okay, now we can get the two going. But considering there's no fans, you do not want to have this moment without fans. I've been saying this time and time again. I'm going to keep saying it, folks. You don't want to have this without fans because the eruption that you remember, I was there when Bayley hit Becky Lynch with the chair. It was something we'd never seen before. Bayley doing heel tactics. Even go back a few years ago when Bayley finally snapped on Sasha and beat her down. They have that ability to draw that type of emotion from the crowd. That's why you want to wait. In the meantime, you let these two ladies carry the show. Charlotte Flair's on the shelf right now. Becky Lynch is on the shelf. Who knows, her career may be over, rightfully so. Sasha and Bayley, it's their time. Let them two ladies carry the show. So, right now, as far as I'm concerned, Sasha Banks is the Raw Women's Champion, and they're going to draw ratings for Monday Night Raw, no doubt about it, because people want to know. They want to know what's the deal. Moving on, the Swamp Fight, the main event, non-title match, which I don't understand. Why don't you have the Universal Championship on the line? You do have Braun Strowman being somebody who has had a ridiculous title run. His first title defense was in a double match with, I think that was whatever the order was. He had to defend against Miz and Morrison, and then he had to defend against Bray Wyatt. Now you have this. It's just not been fulfilling. So you have this Swamp match, no title on the line, or I should say Swamp Fight. It was good cinematic presentation. You saw, if you've been noticing, Braun has been growing his hair. You saw Bray Wyatt go back to the original Bray Wyatt, and he's basically just said, come on, man, it's time for you to come home. You saw him pull out snakes and everything. But one of the things that was interesting, when you seen Alexa Bliss, and she said, Braun, we could be together. And it was a great distraction. So now I'm wondering, how does this get answered? Is she going to say that he made her do it, or he got somebody else? I was thinking it was Sister Abigail. So I want to know what's the answers. But in the end, we saw the Fiend come out just when we thought, excuse me, just when we thought Bray Wyatt had lost and Braun Strowman had put him down under the water. We saw the Fiend come out, and the Fiend, he got it done. He rose up, pulled Braun in the water, got it done. Match is over. This is over. I want to know what's going to happen. I know a lot of people say the Fiend doesn't need the championship, but if you're going to put him in this, put him in these stories, this match should have been for the championship. It closed the show. So it was a horror show. You could have had him walk away with the championship, and you had Braun go back to being his disciple or whatever. But we'll see. Let's see what happens. Moving on, WWE Championship on the line tonight. Dolph Ziggler had the ability to decide what the stipulation was, and he said it was an Extreme Rules match. And we first heard so you had us wait for this, but it's a huge but. It's Extreme Rules match only for Dolph Ziggler, and if Drew McIntyre was counted out or disqualified, he would indeed lose the WWE Championship. No problem. McIntyre still kind of find a way to get it done. He's still your WWE champion. I was talking to my good friend Kahar during this match. It sucks. Drew is having an incredible title reign opposite of Braun Strowman. There's just no real fans there. I did read something, I don't know how true it is, that, one, Randy Orton is next, and two, it could be that Randy Orton be the one to beat him, and there'd be some sort of reset where Drew McIntyre could get that moment in front of fans. But I have to say, as a babyface, he's doing his thing. I just would love to see how the fans would take to him. Online, they seem to be liking it, but I do think he's doing a better job than Braun Strowman. Moving on, eye for an eye match. I'm not spending too much time on this. It's very rare. So much as I've been watching wrestling, it's very rare that I take time where I get cringeworthy. This was one of those matches. I was sitting there watching it with my wife, and I kept turning away, looking. This was just ridiculous. We don't need to have that happen again. Apparently, we have a new United States champion, as Apollo Crews couldn't compete because he didn't pass his physical. Of course, you're thinking, oh, man, hope he doesn't have a Rona. But, nonetheless, he couldn't compete. So, what does that mean? MVP awarded himself as the champion, which he had already brought in a new championship, brought in a new design. So, he's the first person in history to introduce a new design without being a champion. Like, you never saw John Cena do that, and he completely gave the belts a whole facelift. So, nonetheless, MVP, new WWE United States champion. We'll see. We'll find out tomorrow night. Great match on the kickoff show. Kevin Owens defeated Buddy Murphy. It's funny, I said he went from HBK to Stone Cold to the 1-2-3 as he hit him with sweet chin music into a Stone Cold stunner to win the match. So, but overall, Extreme Rules wasn't that great to me. Not that I had high expectations, but my biggest disappointment was what happened with Sasha and Asuka. I wanted to see Sasha win the championship, even if she would achieve the win. But to do this, this cliffhanger, to see what happens on Raw, disappointing. But it's not as disappointing. I would have been more mad if she would have lost the match, and that's true. So, that's where we are with that, folks. So, it's just a lot of things. Like I said, I'm just not a huge fan of Bruce Pritchard. I'm be honest with you, I'm just not. I think that a lot of times we look at it and it's like, oh man, he could be doing this or he could be doing that, but he's just somebody I'm not a fan of. I just don't think he's doing that good of a job. I know there was a time, we love the podcast. We love knowing why did WWE do things the way they did back then. But right now, Pritchard ain't it. I'm going to talk about something, an article I wrote, but I'm going to take a quick break. If you haven't checked out our latest 10 questions, make sure you check it out. It's 20 questions from the real Dwayne Allen, 20 questions from Brian H. Waters. We answer questions, let you get to know us more as wrestling fans. I'll be right back after this.
What's up, wrestling fans? My name is the real Dwayne Allen, Brian H. Waters, and we are the Wrestling Realm. And today we bring you a new show. Something smaller, but something new to the Wrestling Realm Network, that we call it now, our YouTube channel, network, whatever things may be, man, you named it. Nevertheless, we got a new show. It is called 20 Questions, where myself and Brian H. Waters will go rapid fire and we'll answer 20 different questions about a number of different subjects. But today, we figure for those that don't know us, you can get to know the realm just a little bit better than maybe you have before. So today, I asked Brian H. Waters 20 questions so you, the fans, can kind of get to know this gentleman right here. Brian H., you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, bro. 20 questions.
Yep.
20 questions on the clock. First pro wrestling memory.
First pro wrestling memory, Hogan versus Warrior, just getting ready, being in the car with my grandfather, and him describing that we get ready to go home and watch WrestleMania 6.
All right. First piece of wrestling merchandise.
Oh, man, that's a good one.
All right, I'm back, folks. So that's a little bit. So we got this 19 more answers. Make sure you check that out if you haven't done so. Subscribe to the Wrestling Realm on YouTube. Now, here's the thing. I wrote an article as I record this in my getaway place. As I record this on Sunday night at 11 after Extreme Rules, Saturday night into Sunday morning. I was sitting there and I was reading about. I had watched SmackDown, watched some of the highlights, and I saw Naomi Deserves Better trending, and I started getting bothered, folks, because I'm like, here we go with this again. Why is the WWE doing Naomi like this? So I honestly started to record, but I was like, everybody's kind of asleep. It's it should be now, but I ain't feel like setting everything up. So I said, what? Let me write. It's therapeutic. So on the cover, you see I have Sasha Banks, Kofi Kingston, and Naomi. Now, I got into it on Twitter, so I want you to go to www.brianhwaters.com and you can read the full thing. And this is basically the summary. It's true. Black wrestlers aren't treated with respect in the WWE. And you say, well, why do we watch? I've seen a lot of comments, people asking me, why do you watch? Or what? Maybe if black wrestling fans do something different, we have to hold them to a higher standard. I don't have all the answers. Sure, we could stop tuning in, or we could only tune in to when the black wrestlers come on, but I'm not sure if that's what we could only buy black merch, but WWE still getting their money, But my biggest disappointment again is seeing Kofi Kingston have the championship, lose it, and not even bother to chase it again. Yeah, sure, he had his battle with Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble, but he didn't bother to chase it again. It didn't bother him that he lost. You say what you want, and I know it's a scripted program, but come on now. It's like sports. When you have athletes who win championships, or teams who win championships, they want to get back. You look at Michael Jordan. You look at even like the Baltimore Ravens. They won the championship in 2012, didn't make the playoffs the next year, and they made a push the following year. The Seahawks won the championship and went back to the Super Bowl even though they lost. So you mean telling me Kofi Kingston doesn't want that repeat? He doesn't want that taste? Obviously, nothing will ever replace what he did in 2019. Nothing will ever replace Daniel Bryan in 2014, but he's still been WWE champion since. So that's my issue. You look at Naomi, the same thing with her. You mean to tell me she doesn't want to be women's champion? You keep booking her in these matches. Let's be real. Lacey Evans is not getting over. No matter how hard they try, nobody cares. And one day she's a face, one day she's a heel. The woman is right. Yeah, she says all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. Who cares? Dana Brooke isn't getting over. Naomi got over it. I had one of my boys say, man, she doesn't draw, whatever. And first of all, that's crazy. That's absurd. And then they never even sold the belt. If you imagine if they would have sold the championship, how many people would have bought the championship? They never gave her a chance. They never sold the championship. Sasha Banks got over, but yet she can only have a short title reign. So this is just ridiculous. Names like Shelton Benjamin was brought up, and I used to be one of the people. Well, Shelton didn't have a personality, but neither did Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar didn't have a personality, and I get it. Yeah, he looks like, the prototypical wrestler. So does Bobby Lashley. You tell me the difference. Both of them can fight. Both of them are built. So that's a little bit, some of the little bit you can see in the article as I get ready to wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you subscribe to the Wrestling Realm. Hit the subscribe button down below. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. Just had the Extreme Rules was so bad. I just I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. I got a little bit of time, and I might get my boys like, you gonna do a show? You better be glad you're doing a show. And I was like, I'm away, but you always keep your gear. You always. That's what they say in wrestling, right? That's why every time I travel, I make sure I got my computer, my headset, and my microphone, folks. Till the next time, I'm Brian H. Waters. Everybody, I appreciate you tuning in. So long, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Break It Down with Brian H. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you get notified every time the Wrestling Realm posts new content.